Hey everybody, we're going out for frosty chocolate milkshakes!
Oh man!
And by that I mean we're playing the Simpsons arcade game.
Welcome to Let's Play The Simpsons, the arcade game. Oh no, they robbed a place. I'm going to be playing as Bart, and Ogre's going to be playing as Homer. We'll maybe try to mix up the characters later on, but we'll see how well that works. Because I think which character you play as is actually dependent on which slot you're playing as.
Yep, player 1 is Marge, player 2 is Homer, player 3 is Bart, and player 4 is Lisa, which we'll probably never do.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping you could maybe select a different character, but it seems to be consistent with which player you are, like player number you are. So we're probably just going to be stuck as Bart and Homer.
But this
Hit
is
buttons! Waggle joystick!
This is a bit of childhood here, because I remember Chuck E. Cheese used to go to had this game. And damn it if I didn't try to beat this game, and it got to the very end, and lost. And we ran out of coins.
Well, we just happen to have a whole lot of coins.
Yes, we do, by pressing this button. Boom!
And now we're gonna smack guys
But
a
of course,
whole bunch.
If anybody knows anything, this is like the first licensed Simpson property out there. This is the first video game they've ever had made. And by that I mean it was made when like season 1 was just finishing up and season 2 was like halfway in broadcasting. So you are going to see, so a lot of this stuff ain't gonna make sense for a lot of you.
Yeah, it's kind
This
of an
is
older
like,
game,
this,
and
this is old school. This is the point when you and I were like in kindergarten when this stuff was showing up.
and it was a different time too. So like The Simpsons even felt differently. It felt more like a cartoon.
Well, it's always been a cartoon.
Well,
but
I mean, it's always been a cartoon.
It's that
but,
semi-realistic attitude to it.
yeah, I mean, it's always been a cartoon. It would be silly to say otherwise. But it feels like the older Simpsons feels more cartoony.
And of course, this guy is from the Bart the Daredevil episode where they're watching wrestling, and he pulled a wrench out of his pants to smack the guy behind him with the ref not watching. It's a foul, ref. You know it's a foul. So now
Yeah, but the ref didn't see. He wasn't watching it.
But now we gotta beat him up instead. And of course, this is Konami here, so it's an early beat 'em up that if we get close enough to each other, we get the chance.
Oh no, he smacked us apart.
You smacked us apart before we could do it.
Yeah, if you get smacked apart, then you... If you get smacked apart, you will lose your thing, but and separate. But hey, right up until then.
Yeah, I mean it's a combo attack. I mean it's kind of fun and awesome and fun. It's just The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You have to have fun with The
Yeah,
Simpsons.
it's an arcade game though. It's pretty basic overall. You've got a jump button and an attack button, and your D-pad moves you around. And like depending on how you mash buttons or you push a button in the air or something, that kind of stuff. And it's got voice acting in it too, which is neat.
Those are the actual voice actors outside of Harry Shearer. Harry Shearer does not voice.
Hit buttons.
Does not voice Smithers or Mr. Burns in this game.
Hitting buttons.
I got third again.
How does that guy get second? He's not nearly as big as Homer.
I appreciate that, boy. Now let's go get you. Let's have you go get me a duff from the fridge.
Krustyland. As we sail in on our head-shaped balloons.
I would be careful around here. Krusty does not lend himself to. What's the word?
Safety.
Exactly. That's exactly the word I want to use because he does not do that at all.
Ow, my head.
Hey, it's Santa's little helper. Eat dog, boy.
Eat trash can.
Look, it's Otto Man, whose last name is actually Otto Man. He's actually, his full name is Otto Man.
Box of donuts, bag of bagels.
And apparently Dr. Marvin Monroe had an off day.
That's okay, he can come out here to just kind of chill for a little bit. Yeah, thanks, Millhouse!
Dr. Marvin Monroe, I thought you were dead. No, I was just very sick.
Man, this hammer's strong. I one-shot these guys.
Well, I accidentally used my tire wheel and I took out the guy in one shot, but...
Just like all of these dudes just frickin' hammer you in the face.
Just hope you don't run out of hammer ammunition.
That'd be silly. Ah, my face! Ah, my other face.
I know that thing's a trap because it's highlighted differently.
It's like looking at the old cartoon animation.
Hey, gorilla! Aren't you funny? Oh, don't!
Just picked up trash can. Other than like generic people Smithers hired, who even are these guys?
Generic people who Smithers hired.
Okay.
That's all they are. They're just hired goons.
That's okay. Every evil corporation needs some hired goons.
It's like early first season. You want a spoiler? We don't even see Itchy and Scratchy. This is how early into this production it was.
I'm gonna be honest, I was never super fond of Itchy and Scratchy.
In fact, this is Binky from Life is Hell, the original idea that Matt Groening was gonna sell, but then he realized that he would have to give up his rights to it, and he figured,
Yeah, that comic was actually really important to him, so he didn't want to give it up for that. So instead, in his words, he made a whole family of characters that he didn't give a crap about.
And he gave us the Simpsons. And the world gave a lot of crap about them. And of course, like I said, again, really early, so our second boss is a Krusty Balloon.
They don't have a lot of established stuff yet, but I don't know, even in the first season, they did a lot of really interesting things. Like, really cool things. And it certainly doesn't help that being in one of these earlier seasons is when the game... Not the game. The show felt more cartoony instead of a little more sitcom-y. Ah, balloons!
Dropped a lot of red balloons there.
So they did a lot of silly things that I almost feel like they couldn't get away with nowadays.
Well, trust me, The Simpsons are very much a product of their times. There is no way in hell you can get a show, let alone a cartoon, that has the father strangling the son on repeated occasions. The fact that he still does it is probably only because it's
kind of an established thing.
Discount cemeteries.
You know how many levels are in this game?
8. 8 or 9 or something like that.
Alright. So we just beat level 2. Skateboard in the face!
And in case you're wondering, yes, Bart is wearing a blue shirt, and there is a reason for that.
Palette?
No.
Limitations?
No. To prevent counterfeiting. He wears a blue shirt in official merchandising. That way you know it's official merchandising. He wears an if it's an orange shirt, it's probably a counterfeit. Blue shirt, an actual product. It's the weirdest reason ever.
I'm doing all kinds of crazy cool moves and I have no idea how I'd do them. Like that little spin thing.
It's just a combo thing. Which, funny enough...
Like, I don't know, sometimes I'll do it on, like, on attack 1.
Which, funny enough, Marge has a strange combo in this game. That, if you pull it off completely, because she attacks with a vacuum, her vacuum actually pulls off her hair to reveal rabbit ears. But do you know why rabbit ears specifically? It was actually in a Cracked article the other day. And it's been, and they, and Matt Groening mentioned it in the commentary for like a season 4 episode on one of the DVDs, is that originally he planned for...
Zombies!
It was either he expected the first season to be the finale, like that
the only season.
Like the only season. You know, God bless him for being that cute. But Originally, it was going to reveal at the very end of The Simpsons that Marge this whole time was a rabbit.
Well,
That she was going to pull off her hair and reveal she was a rabbit the whole time. As, like, apparently a crossover to his Life is Hell comic.
it was a more cartoony time.
Exactly, that's the
When
reason.
they could do simple things like that and go, alright, whatever.
The reason they actually said the reasons they said they weren't doing that was because one,
The size of that moon.
it was too ridiculous even for The Simpsons, which is saying something. I'll tell
Yeah,
you that.
especially at the time.
And two, it would have been too hard to implement because there was like too much stuff. You'd have to like set up too much background for that, so they kind of scrapped it pretty early on. But it shows up in here just
Just as a gag.
as a gag. And of course we leave this poor guy to die because screw him. Oh, apparently Krusty's dead. We just went into his coffin.
That's depressing.
Grave marker. Which is weird because he had a cross on there, and we find out in later season that Krusty's actually Jewish.
Of course, that's not established yet.
Oh, it's not established yet. That's like season 3. And again, this is like season 1 into season 2.
Like, at this point, Krusty was little more than a clown you saw in the background on occasion.
Which, do you know who Krusty was originally supposed to be?
I do not.
Homer. Originally, the plan for Krusty, because if you actually look at early designs for Krusty the Clown, he looks almost like Homer in clown makeup. It was the fact that they were going to... Because Bart idolizes Krusty, obviously. And they were going to make the ironic fact that Bart loves Krusty the Clown and idolizes him so much, but yet he barely gives his father the time of day. But again, it was one of those, I think that's going to be a little too complicated for this whole setup. So they dropped that pretty quick.
That would have been some funny stuff to see play out, though.
May want to put some coins in there, boy.
I got plenty of life left. I ate all those hot dogs.
Get all that food. And of course, this is early on enough you actually play as Lisa. She will eat the food and everything and not complain about it. That episode is one of those infuriating episodes. But we're not talking about The Simpsons, the show. We're talking about Simpsons the game. Which is, you have to kind of talk about the show, because it's a show.
Yeah.
And if you haven't gathered, I really love The Simpsons, and it didn't help that FX apparently had the syndication rights to all of them. And I've been playing them non-stop, to the point that they actually played the entire 25 seasons of The Simpsons in 12 days. Non-stop, with only commercial breaks.
Stage 4, Moe's Tavern. Until next time, everybody, we're going to pick up right here. For whatever reason, Homer is bringing a miner into a bar, but we'll figure out why next time. Actually, we probably won't.
No, we won't. It's Moe's.